Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, I'm very pleased to be speaking in support of this bill, delivering on our government's commitment to secure the future of Channel 31 in my hometown of Melbourne and Channel 44 in Adelaide. And Channel 31 does hold a special place in the hearts of many Melburnians. And the key, I think, is in the name, Community TV. What this service provides is a real community service to so many people in our city. It provides specialised, unique programming that viewers can't find anywhere else. And you can get this just from a quick look at the TV guide for Channel 31. The multicultural programming: Korean, Chinese, Serbian, Tamil, Macedonian, Indian, Greek, Latin American, African, Sri Lankan, Indonesian, Croatian. The very popular fishing programming. I must say I'm not a fisher myself, but I do know how popular this particular part of Channel 31 service is. So the shows including Fishing Trips with Skip, Fishing with Fergie, Fishing Mad, Savage Seas Adventures and Happy Fisherman Fishing Adventures. There's a real group of programs there that I know have a very dedicated audience. The car shows, again, not something I am personally familiar with, but again, for many people, this is an area of interest for them, and there are shows including All Off-Road 4x4 Adventures, Aussie Garage TV and Bumper to Bumper. Many more programs: Garden to Kitchen, Woodworking Masterclass, Creatives on the Couch, Move It or Lose It. All keeping people connected, all giving people interest and connection that they wouldn't otherwise have. Of course, these programs don't attract ratings on the level that make them a viable proposition for a commercial channel, but they are so important to our community, and they all deserve to have a place for people to be able to tune in and see their passion, their interest on the television. And I've had direct feedback from people in my community in Jagga Jagga about the value that Channel 31 has for them. Kathy from Greensborough wrote to me to tell me that Channel 31 for her, and she knows for other Victorians, was particularly important during the lockdowns that Melbourne experienced during the COVID pandemic. For Kathy, Channel 31, in fact, was an invaluable resource to help her stay active and connected. She said that the morning exercise program for older people was particularly important for her. It's actually part of her routine. So again, as I said, this is a service, it is so community-based and it is valued by so many people in our community. Another important role that Channel 31 plays in Melbourne is supporting local news. It does provide a training ground for emerging journalists and screen practitioners, including those going through university or TAFE. And Deputy Speaker, I have personal experience of this. My first role on TV when I was studying to become a television journalist was on Channel 31. So if you go way back to the early 2000s, you could find me on Channel 31. I did have a dig round to try and find some of my early stories. I found the VHS tapes that they were on, but I don't have a VHS player to put them on anymore. But certainly for me, it was an invaluable experience being able to have that real life experience of having your story go on to community television. I know there are many more famous people than me who have had their start on Channel 31, and it is really important that we continue to give people that training ground that community TV provides. So this is Labor delivering on our election commitment to keep community TV stations Channel 31 Melbourne and Channel 44 Adelaide on air. Community TV adds to media diversity, local news and content. It supports local businesses and community organisations. And as I said, it provides a much needed training ground for journalists, producers and the industry talent of the future. This is something that Labor has a proud track record in supporting. For years we have been standing shoulder to shoulder with the community TV sector, fighting to keep them on air. I did note that there have been some of Australia's most popular media personalities who've come through Channel 31. Rove McManus, Hamish and Andy. Rove has said of Channel 31, "What I gained from my Channel 31 experience was collaborating with fellow creative people in a group environment that taught me how to be a host and then how to be producers, camera operators, lighting technicians, set builders and editors. All of those skills from one place, a real service to the community." Actor and comedian Nazeem Hussain created 2 different panel shows on Channel 31, Ramadan TV and Salam Cafe, aimed at providing a voice for Muslim Australians. And as he said, we were sick of seeing Muslims on TV who looked and sounded nothing like the Muslims we knew and hung out with. We were able to make TV we'd never seen before on a channel that is known for being experimental and giving a voice to people who don't have a voice elsewhere. Community TV plays a vitally important role in our diverse migrant communities in Melbourne as an information and an entertainment platform. It provides religious communities with access to services. I talked before about the role that Channel 31 played during lockdowns in helping to keep people active. It also kept religious communities connected, helping people to attend services that they would normally attend in person, to be able to do that on through community TV, giving people again that opportunity to continue their routines and their traditions. Our government does believe that community television is a vibrant part of Australia's media landscape, and it is why we fought and we will continue to fight attempts from those opposite to boot it off air. It was, of course, Malcolm Turnbull, back in the days when he was still saying how happy he was to be part of Tony Abbott's team, who told Community TV that its time was up. Malcolm Turnbull at that time did not think it was worth having Community TV taking up broadcast spectrum. He suggested that this service, which is so valuable, as I've explained, in so many places, to so many diverse members of our community, he thought that this could be an internet-only service. And, you know, I will acknowledge, of course, the internet plays an ever-expanding role in our lives and our communities' lives. But for a significant number of Australians, they do still use and they do still rely on broadcast TV and radio. People know the routine of turning on their TV, tuning in at a particular time for a particular show. That's what those opposite under Malcolm Turnbull were looking to take away from people. We recognise the importance of this service, and that's why it is so important that this bill is before us today. It does reverse the Coalition's attempt to send the remaining community TV stations in Melbourne and Adelaide off air in June this year. We will support them to continue to serve their diverse communities. This bill repeals the legislated expiry date for Channels 31 and 44, removing that deadline that was legislated by the former Liberal National Government. And I want to pay tribute to Community TV itself and its many, many supporters who I know have run such a hard-fought campaign to make sure that they were in this position today, that they were saved, that they weren't forced off air. Because obviously having that date in legislation, that date put in legislation by those opposite, was very difficult for all of those people who give their time to community TV, many of them volunteers, putting that work in to provide this service. It was very difficult for them to think that they were about to be forced off air. So it is, again, as I said, it is a tribute to them that we are here today to ensure that community TV stays on air. It's a tribute to the Minister, who I know has been a passionate supporter of community TV and has stood with them through this campaign to make sure that their role, the important role they play in communities like mine, is recognised and that they can continue to do that work. This bill does give the two community television operators much more certainty beyond 30th of June this year. The audiences of all those programs I listed earlier will continue to have access to these services as the Future of Broadcasting Working Group considers the future of broadcasting in Australia as a whole. The bill also harmonises the Code of Practice regime for community TV, bringing both existing operators under the definition of the same section of industry. This will allow the development and registration of one Code of Practice by the peak community television body, the Australian Community Television Alliance, to cover Channels 31 and 44. Deputy Speaker, as I said, our government values community TV. We want to see them continue. It is a valuable service to so many people in my community. As I said, I have personally benefited from the role that community TV plays in nurturing new talent as well. For all these reasons, I am so very, very proud to be standing here today, supporting it and seeing community television continue to thrive.